Yo, beautiful people, it is JamJam the comedian here.
Mr. Nice Guy Rugby back with the legend.
And we are the experts on the couch giving you the much needed breakdown of all the rugby and sports happenings of the past week/weekend. There was a jam-packed fixture list this past weekend, and I was lucky enough to catch a couple of games. But yeah, we're going to chat today about the schoolboy rugby, the results. We're going to chat about club rugby in Western Cape. We're going to talk about the Currie Cup results this past weekend, and then we're going to move on to the greatest rivalry tour, which is starting this week, which is massive, of course. And then we're going to give some updates on the women's team, who are currently traveling in Fiji for a historic two-test fixture against Fiji in Fiji. So yeah, we got a good one for you guys this week.
As you can hear, exciting times in SA Sports, and I see what you did there, jam-packed sports.
Yeah, and that's where the comedy comes in to the podcasting. But yeah, let's get straight into it. I'm gonna go right into the schoolboy fixtures that took place this past weekend. Some big derbies around the country. Schoolboy rugby is still going strong. Some teams are obviously their fixtures are done, but there's some teams that or some big schools that are we'll at it. So we'll just go through. It was actually a lot of fixtures.
Yeah,
so I think we'll take the ones that obviously people would know and probably would have watched. Grey College versus Grey Bloem, the Grey Derby took place in Bloemfontein. I got to watch that game on Super Schools. Grey College 59, Grey 26. It was actually a close game I was watching, and yeah, second half Grey Bloem just did what they do best. They just pulled away. So very unfortunate there that the Grey High boys couldn't keep the pace. Paul Rus 45, Boland Landbo 13.
Shame Boland's come short this year a little bit. I think they're very much focusing on next year again.
Yeah, some of the fixtures haven't gone their way. Sax 30, Rondebosch 36. Talk us through that. You were at the game. I believe you made your Super Schools debut.
Yes, yeah, no, thanks, Jam. It was absolutely special out there. Obviously, as you said, commentating for Super Sports Schools was something really incredible, and can't wait to do more of it. But speaking about the actual game itself, honestly, not just saying that because it's Rondebosch, but one of the best schoolboy games I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
36 points to 30. It was some end-to-end stuff. Saxo about 15 points down at twice, which is 3 tries, and they managed to crawl their way back to 1 point. It was just a never give up attitude from Sax, and then Rondebosch was relentless at times. Caleb Bowell, the magic feat that he shows out there, it was just something special. So yeah, well done to Bosch.
And so that means they Rondebosch did the double.
Did the double. It's been now 10 years since Sax has beaten Rondebosch. In 2016, we've had a double for 10 years. Yeah.
Oh my! Wow, Sax! Come on, guys! Come on! You guys are better than that. Wow! And they've come so close as well in this.
Literally, I actually didn't know that until the guy I was commentating with, Graham Veppener. He coached there for 17 years at the Sax first team. He told me that. I was like, "That's wild."
Oh wow! I'm sure Sax. Next year, that's gonna be. I mean, until they get the W over on the Bosch, it's gonna be a thorn in their side. They
100%. I mean,
Bosch keep getting them for 10 years and 2 fixtures per year.
Yeah, I think what you said now, though, next year they're going to come in hot, because their hot players on the day were actually grade 11s. Yeah. So they're looking quite. I mean, besides obviously Jake, Dave, the flyhalf, and Kun, that Naheem Kun at the back was unbelievable. But yeah, the grade 11s are really looking strong. So I think Saxo, as you say, going to come in hot next year for Rondebosch.
Yeah. And then Stellenberg 42, Durbanville 12, which was probably expected. Obviously, Stellenberg having a
world-class season.
Time of their lives this this year, really stepping up and playing some big fixtures. I mean, they beat Parkham, they beat Greyblum, and they also beat Paul Roos.
Yeah.
So getting those 3 scalps in one season is just...
It's huge.
It's crazy.
Huge.
It's
As you
insane.
say, you see that like Polcham clean sheet, and you're like, oh, there's one little hiccup, and it's
Stellenberg. And then Wynberg 64, Bishops 12.
Statement.
I caught the end of that, and clearly Bishops were not in the game. Wynberg really showing that they are it looks like the kings of the southern suburb
100%.
sort of rugby contingent. I mean, I think this Wynberg team is just above everyone here in this part of the Western Cape.
100%.
I mean, 64-12, that almost never happens against Bishops.
No.
You'd maybe put a Paul or Paul Roos to do that against Bishops. It's certainly not Wynberg. So Wynberg are really cooking something up. This is obviously Nick Kroom's last season before he moves on to greener pastures.
And they're obviously shooting for the double, triple crown, which they haven't had a chance to get in years. I almost want to say 6 years, but they are not statistically.
Yeah, so they beaten Bishops twice. They've beaten...
Well, now they need to beat Rondebosch in 2 weeks, which will be twice, and Sachs in the last game.
Okay, so they are the favourites to do the triple crown.
They're cooking.
And then the big one in Western Cape, the Paarl Derby, Paarlchem versus Paarl Boys. I had to watch that. I was in my hotel in Joburg, and I was like, this is the biggest schoolboy derby in the world. You cannot miss it. I wish I was at the stadium. I actually had tickets to go, but then obviously I had my show this past weekend, and it delivered to the hype. Paarlchem 25, Paarl Boys 11. Paarlchem, to be honest, were in control of that game. There wasn't many moments where they looked like they'd let Paarl Boys back into the game. But Paarl Boys had their moments, they just didn't capitalize. Silly mistakes when they were in the red zone of their opposition, Paarlchem. But overall, Paarlchem, the game management, they were just head and shoulders above.
100% JamJam. You're so right there. You're so right there. I mean, as you and I know, like Paarlchem, their speed of ruck and just the speed of play this whole year is just like one notch above every other school. But obviously, as we know, these derby days when it's Bosch Bishops or Paarl Boys versus Chem, anything can happen. So the fact that it's 25-11 and 14-point margin, another statistic, for the past 16 years, the average score has been 9-8. To Paarlchem. So I mean the 14-point margin is huge in this like concept. So I mean massive game out there. Well done to Peter Rousseau and the boys. And
then we have Waterkloof 34, Help Makaar 38. Help Makaar getting a big W there. This is obviously in the Noordval Cup. And then bit of a controversial one. Menlo Park versus Yaqeen Janssen. I don't know if you saw.
Hectic.
The scenes there that were quite hectic. Once again, something you don't want to see in school rugby. It's what do Rondebosch say in the junior field? They say, remember, these aren't Springboks.
This is not the World Cup.
This is not the World Cup. These are not Springboks. There was a bit of fight or melee with the players and the parents, and it just became a whole commerce, as they say. But it's definitely not something we want to see in schoolboy rugby, and I hope the higher ups at SARU really address what happened. That shouldn't be happening.
100%.
At all.
And just while we're on that, I don't know if you heard about the Fairmont versus Settlers game this weekend with the racial slur.
Yeah, I mean,
well done to the ref for stopping that.
Stopping the game. The ref did the right thing. That is exactly what the ref should be doing, stopping the game, and whoever the guilty parties were, they forfeit the game, and sort of Western Province Rugby, SARU investigates further. Guys, these I always emphasize, these are school kids. I don't know why things are getting to this level. Rugby is at again, it's an extracurricular activity. It's a fun activity. It's meant to be fun. Yes, it's meant to be competitive, but I mean, when you're hearing incidents like this over the same weekend,
no, it's sad. It really
it's
is.
something that Sorry needs to clamp down on and tell the schools, listen, no more of this nonsense. Where we're bringing negativity to schoolboy because of how parents are reacting or how players, even coaches, how they
100%,
behave.
100%.
It needs to go back to what the core of schoolboy rugby is, the values of schoolboy rugby, that, these are fun moments. These are moments where you compete against other schools, but you need to make sure that the rules of rugby are adhered to, and that the spirit of the game is important.
Spot on,
and
yeah.
that's all what you want to see. What we saw over this past weekend is very disappointing, and we hope that these things don't keep happening going forward.
No, spot on, Jam. Like you say, obviously, I mean, I'm going to go as far as saying we have one of the best school rugby systems in the world, so we don't have any space for this sort of thing. It's not on.
Yeah, it's not on at all. And then some results in the Eastern Cape. Queens 55, Selborne 15. I got to watch that game as well. Queens just totally outplayed Selborne. Selborne not having a good year at all. I don't know if you saw Selborne earlier in the year where Jake White was I don't know if he was director of rugby or a special sort of advisor, but he stepped down, then he came back. Very controversial stuff happening in East London, or Kukompo City now as it's known.
I actually didn't know that. That's interesting.
But I mean, Selborne not having a good year at all. Losing to Queens by 50.
That's a huge hiding.
That's a big hiding. And then the team that probably had the best season in Eastern Cape, Graham College against Dale. Graham College beating Dale 33-22.
Nice.
Dale had already beaten in Grahamstown. They had already beaten St Andrews and Kingswood, so they were looking to do the Triple Crown there. And Graham just said, no, watch. And then we go to the other Joburg schools. KZN, we have DHS 26, Northwood 19. Northwood had a very good season.
Great game that.
I'm liking Northwood's commitment to their rugby program. Northwood have stepped up immensely. One of the schools in the last couple of years that have really taken their rugby program seriously, and it's yielded dividends. I mean, back in the day, I don't even know if they would play DHS.
Yeah. It's actually amazing to see that. Obviously, it's nice to see these bowl gyms and stuff, but it's nicer actually for me to see these schools that weren't actually in the mix, and now they're there and they're about.
And then the last one, Cares versus Jeppy, obviously their biggest derby. So there was actually big clashes. When we had the Grey Derby, we had Queen's Selborne, we had the Paul Derby, and then we had Cares versus Jeppy. Jeppy 46, Cares 31.
Sure.
Jeppy coming out there with a big result. So that's the schoolboy fixture list was
cooking out there.
Yeah, it was some big games there. And then now we move on to the club rugby scene with the Super League A results. Helderberg 48. Marty's 21. That's a big one from Helderberg.
There's a couple of surprises this weekend.
Yeah.
Listen up.
Thunderstal 0, Durbell 28, Tigerberg 31, Primrose 10, Franschhoek 24, Brackenfell 45, UCT 47, Kales River 49.
Huge, eh?
That is a crazy rugby score. That almost sounds like the first half of a basketball game.
Literally.
47-49. I mean, whoever the defensive coaches are looking at that and being like, guys, you guys did not listen to anything that I said this week.
Were the defensive coaches with you in Joburg?
Maybe they were on the bend with me. Wow, what a
huge
crazy
result there. Yeah, well done to them as well.
UWC 34, False Bay 54. So some good fixtures going down there, and then we move on to the Currie Cup, which was almost straightforward. With the Griquas taking on the Cheetahs in the first game.
That was a very good game, though.
24-21 to the Griquas. Griquas have made the competition their own. They really do enjoy turning up when it's Curry Cup time.
100%.
And they always keep similar faces around them. I'm see George Whitehead still.
That's why they're so good.
Yeah.
So keep that same cohesion.
Yeah, George Whitehead's still cooking there, and he's been immense for them over the past.
George Whitehead, what a name.
Yeah. And then Golden Lions really putting it to the Blue Bulls 42-19.
Oh, thanks for coming.
And that's obviously a big derby, the Joburg Pretoria rivalry there. Lions really putting it on.
They're also looking hot this season. Lions and Griquas is, for me, the top side.
And then we had the Stormers 36, Sharks 28. Obviously, that is also a huge derby. I mean, it was just a weekend of derbies.
No, literally.
in South African rugby. Well done to the Stormers.
And I think that was the toughest one when we were making our picks. And again, speaking about the picks, we were 75% again for the weekend, ladies and gentlemen.
And then the upset of the weekend, which sort of cooked everything for us, was the Pumas and the Cavaliers, which is obviously a tough one to pick. But I think we went to the Cavaliers because of just how they demolished the Stormers the weekend.
And it's just tough going to Wellington and winning.
Yeah, it is tough going to Wellington. And the Pumas snuck a victory there, 20-15. So well done to the Pumas. As we know, like you said, Cavaliers in Wellington, not an easy hunting ground. And Pumas clearly had other ideas, and they executed a great game plan. I watched the game, and the Cavaliers were just not clinical enough when they were in the opposition's 22.
Exactly.
And the Pumas really fronted up on defense when they were in their own 22. So
that was the difference. You spot on. They really interfered their ball carrying and like their ball retention, and it was well done to them.
Yeah, it was very well done. But
just going back to Boland, have you seen those memes? I've been having good laughs. So like, there's no home games the next 3 weeks. What's Wellington going to do up there?
Yeah. Wellington's going to be poor. And then now we move on to something that's very exciting for the whole of South Africa. The greatest rivalry.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this.
Initially when they first said, hey man, we're not going to do the rugby championship, I was a bit weary about that, but then obviously when they said, we're replacing it with a full New Zealand tour like they used to do back in the days, and now it's actually here. It is actually here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you saw the videos that were circulating on social media when the All Blacks arrived to thunderous applause and arrived to a lot of fanfare when they came to the DHL Stadium.
I was actually there with Vusi on Friday. It was a special atmosphere that was.
As you know, these guys are I call them the Manenberg Maoris, the Kongwe Maoris, and the Komani Maoris. They came out of the woodworks and they came out of whatever sort of dingy places they were hiding under, and now they've shown us that there's a big contingent of them, and and obviously this goes back to when we were still at Newlands, when tests were taking place there, and when the Super Rugby was there, that New Zealand always are able to pull a crowd
100%.
in Cape Town. Guys, you will see this week when they play the Stormers, you will be shocked at how many people will be supporting the All Blacks, and not just supporting the All Blacks. They will be wearing the All Blacks regalia. Some of them will be wearing Crusaders shirts,
100%.
Chief shirts,
World Jordans.
They'll be, guys. I saw there was a signing or a meet and greet that's taking place, I think, tomorrow or Thursday at Canal Walk. That Canal Walk's probably going to have to shut down.
Cheap, because that's going to be hectic.
Yeah, it's always a bit spicy when there's an All Blacks fixture in Cape Town because of the controversy of them having so many All Blacks
literally,
based here. I always tell the guys, come back home. Springboks will be back to back, and we're about to do a three-peat. And of course, we are the junior champions as well, and we are the Sevens World Series winners. So we actually doing better than New Zealand right now. So guys, just think about it, man. Come home, man. We're waiting for you guys, man. We've been waiting for you guys. Don't be those guys, but come back home. But most importantly, Ryan, is that this week they take on the Stormers.
Friday evening.
The first game of this whole greatest rivalry tour. Give us some insight as what to expect. I heard that that Dobbo is going with a high risk. Well, not high risk, but he's starting the junior number 10.
Yaqeen, it looks like, yeah.
It looks like Yaqeen Ahmed is going to start.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for that. I mean, obviously, Yaqeen, the age of 19, 20 years old, against the old head Bowden Barrett. It almost does, it sounds like a dream come true, and it's happening this weekend. But just to answer your question, Jam, I'm very excited for this game because I do think the club franchises are there to almost hurt New Zealand. So they'll be hurting for the Springbok
soften
games.
them up for when the Springbok game comes about.
So I'm interested to see what Dobbo posts out there. I think he's going to post a hell of a big pack, and I said, they're going to be very physical. But I do think New Zealand aren't going to lie down. They're going to put points on the club sides if they have to.
Yeah. A lot of people have been talking about how strong or how weak the club size will be. Of course, there's an opportunity to also start preparing for the URC, so some of these teams will want to field youngsters or players who are on the fringe just to see what the level is.
For sure.
When you're playing anyone in the All Blacks, even if it's the guys who are third string, the quality of New Zealand is so high that they will feel it. The Stormers will feel it, the Sharks will feel it, Lions, etc. So let's not make it seem like it's just any other team. It is the All Blacks at the end of the day.
No, exactly.
So I would like to see Dobbo really go with a strong team just to challenge them up front and say, hey guys, this is a tour to South Africa. Remember where you're at.
I like that. No, I do think that's going to happen.
Because obviously we don't play them anymore in the Super Rugby, so this is probably the closest we'll get to that sort of nostalgia or, a throwback to how the derbies used to be between Blues, Chiefs, etc. versus the Stormers when they used to come down here back in the day of Super Rugby. So for me, it's very exciting. What's your prediction?
I would love to see the team sheets before saying the prediction out there, but I'm going to say New Zealand's going to pull away with it at the end by 18, 19 points.
18, 19, okay. That's a good one, okay. And then, so they'll be playing, so just to give you a recap of what will be happening with this greatest rivalry tour. So they play the Stormers at DHL Stadium this Friday. Then they go on the 11th of August, they play Sharks, Hollywood Bet Sharks, obviously, down in Durban.
And that's on a random Tuesday evening, if I'm mistaken.
You're not mistaken at all. And then they play the Bulls on the 15th. And then the first test versus the All Blacks, 22nd of August at Ellis Park. That's going to be huge.
It's going to be big. There's been a lot of chat already, though, and I saw a couple of videos last night of obviously the ticket prices. I really hope SA Rugby lower the ticket price, because otherwise the stadium's not going to be filled, which is going to be very embarrassing.
That's what I was thinking. Even for the club games, it's going to be. They need to figure it out, because we don't want low attendance, and it should be accessible to the people. Quick one. A big one. We're playing Argentina this week.
That's true, eh? It's so funny. As you say, we're all talking about the greatest rivalry.
Yeah, we need to get ahead of. We need to stop getting ahead of ourselves and actually just rewind a little bit and just realize that there's Argentina down in Argentina.
Buenos
and,
Aires.
Buenos Aires.
As
and-
Rassi said, that's actually our next hurdle. That we
Yeah,
need to
we're looking way too ahead as pop fans. We think we need to focus on the now. Do you what do you think Rassi will do something? I mean, there's no Jesse Creel. There's no recognized number 13 there. Who do you think is going to go for 13? That's a big talking point.
Yeah, no, for sure, Jam. As you said, I mean, like Rassi's obviously playing mind games again, putting one centre underneath there. But yes, he's got 4 other hybrid players that can play centre.
Yeah.
Again, one hooker, but he's got a seven or eighth man that can play hooker there.
Yeah, and apparently the other chap can also play hooker. Who's on the guy who's usually on the bench. Is it Vessels?
Yeah, and Hendrik Vessels.
Yes.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I mean,
I think it's all mind games.
some of
I'll
these
be
tactics is some stuff we'd see in schoolboy rugby. You know, when there was a guy who could play, 1, 2, and 3. I mean, that's
exactly
to be able to. Do that at the highest level in test match rugby is insane.
It is insane. No,
in Rassi we trust. I want to see who he picks between Hooker and Kenan Moody. That's what everyone is saying, or people are speculating those would be the number 13s. And
so you're going Andre and Kenan?
Yeah, that's what I think will
I agree.
Will go down, and then I'm thinking Willemse at 15 and Fassi on the bench covering.
Kieran Horn not in the team.
Kieran Horn maybe covering as well.
It's going to be very interesting. That's why I said when I read it, I was like, I don't know where Rassi's going, but that's why Rassi's Rassi.
Let's see when he drops that lineup. But it's exciting times. We're going to see a lot of different combinations. I think that he obviously has in his mind that he wants to see how they fare against top opposition. Guys, Argentina are very good at home.
100%.
They're good in general, but at home, they really raise their game. They almost beat England a couple of weeks ago.
100%.
Let's focus in on that.
Do you know what I'm really hoping for, though? That Sia starts this weekend.
Yes.
Because
we need to see Sia back.
Don't get me wrong, I'm like the biggest Port de Villiers fan, but I feel like we're sleeping on the Euro. Sia Khaleesi, he's still got stuff left in his tank.
He's still got a good couple of games left in him, and he definitely wants to finish his career on a high. So don't even think of counting him out.
Please don't.
He's a Rolls Royce of flanks, still pushing at the highest level. What a legend of South African rugby. And then before we wrap up, some historical fixtures taking place between the Springbok women against Fiji in Fiji. First test August 8th, and then the second test August 15th.
In Fiji. Special country that is.
Obviously rugby mad country. It's nice for them to get a fixture of this magnitude. Also nice for the women's Bok team to be exposed to traveling to that side of the world for a fixture. So I hope people will tune into that. I don't know if I'm sure it will be on SuperSport or some sort of streaming platform. But as usual, let's get behind the ladies. They had a good test series against USA, and I think they are probably the favorites for this 2-test the derby against Fiji.
Come on, ladies.
So we obviously at Experts on the Couch are backing you, ladies, to do the things. So final prediction, you said for Stormers versus New Zealand
on Stormers New Zealand on Friday. New Zealand by 18. Let's just say New Zealand by 15 plus, just for the betting sake.
Yeah.
We move over to Saturday, South Africa versus Argentina.
Yeah.
Can you help me there first?
I would say Springboks by 7.
7, okay, we're going to go with minus 6.5 then, minus 7 plus. And then obviously moving over to the Stormers 23. I know we said Stormers on Friday, but this is the Stormers 23 squad playing against Cheetahs on Sunday.
I'm going to go with the Cheetahs. And then there's Griquas Lions. I'm going to go with...
That's a tough game.
Lions.
Like that.
Blue Bulls, Pumas. Going to go with Pumas. Sharks, Cavaliers.
Sharks bouncing back. Sharks to bounce back.
I'm also going to go with the Sharks. And then also we have a sneaky one. Japan versus Australia.
Wow. Australia by 12?
I think I'm going to go Australia as well.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, lock those picks in. Obviously, I'll put an ACCO together on the comment section so we can obviously have longer ACCOs together, but lock those picks in. JamJam, the legend himself, is flaring at the moment for the past 12 weeks. This is episode 12. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Please go follow our page, Experts on the Couch. Please go like and subscribe on YouTube. We want to build this community, and we really want to keep bringing you some excellent sort of sport reviews, especially when it comes to rugby, which is obviously both of our passions. But thank you again, as Ryan said, for tuning in to another episode of Experts on the Couch. Lock those picks in, and hopefully we all make some money.
Have a lovely weekend.
Cheers.